Hello everybody and welcome or welcome back to my channel, the place where we make fun of the morons we see out here on the road, a bit like this one, proving if you're backwards and slow, the faster you'll go. Or this halfwit who Sarah came across, who could be harmlessly confused as to whether he's driving a mobility scooter or a van. Nah, he's not harmlessly confused, he's just aggressively thick. Or maybe this mug who Alan encountered whilst negotiating this roundabout, who proves that electric shock therapy is a viable option to help some drivers overcome mental and driving disorders. And speaking of drivers with mental disorders, Dr. P come across one who falls exactly into that category. Yeah, nothing quite says I've built up quite a tolerance to me medication over the years, and me two brain cells definitely ain't holding hands at the moment, like coming up a 2-lane one-way road the wrong way. Now, I don't know about you, but it never ceases to amaze me the level of diligence and tenacity a lot of these low-capacity drivers display, just so they can let everyone around them know they've got the mental balance and stability of a sumo wrestler on a unicycle. I mean, seriously, what sort of donut does that? Here's Nick, the old-school trucker, just pulling up at these red traffic lights here. Now, we all know that you need a lot of patience when you drive, you really do. Well, from the looks of it, that muppet in the white car was down there in the bottom right-hand corner. He's got less patience and what's in the hospital was still under construction. Red light switches on, brain switches off. Here's Kevin driving along the A46. Now, nothing quite says I still enjoy watching my old VHS cassette tapes with titles such as The Postman's Big Delivery and The Window Cleaner Gets a Shine, like not looking and pulling straight out in front of another car. Here's Joshua following this cyclist, and there's a BMW driver following his natural instincts of driving like a bellend and nearly taking that cyclist out. So here we are looking out the rear of David's car, and as you can see he's being followed by some real burnt out light bulb who's driving along with his indicator on. Now the only problem driving along like that is you're going to get some real rusty wheelbarrow who thinks you're turning left and just pulls straight out in front of you. And the plank's still driving along with his indicator on. And then at the other end of the scale, just because you got your indicator on, it don't mean pull out and get T-boned in the side, does it now? Spatial awareness of a Lego brick, that one. Dear oh dear. Here's Tomo just making his way safely through this rather nice looking little village here. And here comes Sperm Tadpole Brain driving anything but safely as he cuts the corner like a boss. Yeah, boss of backwardness. Tossers like him literally drive around like that all day, every day. 10 minutes later, who does Tomo see? Yeah, you guessed it, the same boss of backwardness displaying exactly the same cornering technique as earlier. As Einstein once said, there's a difference between stupidity and genius. Yeah, genius has its limits. So here's Jono just approaching these temporary traffic lights at these roadworks here, and this is just outside of Doncaster apparently. Not that it makes much difference, mind you, because being a dysfunctional window licker is a national, in fact an international problem. Now, as we can all see, the traffic light's turning red there, but when your brain's the equivalent of an unessential vitamin, that means put your foot down and drive straight through. And this right here just says it all about how we're evolving as a species when you need signs by traffic lights that say, when red light shows, wait here. God help us. Here we go, a 3-lane motorway at night, the perfect environment where flat earthers like to display their driving incompetence, and today is no exception to that rule. I don't know what mental condition that flat earther's got, but I guarantee it's hard to pronounce. This is from the rockGod 23 in his HGV on YouTube, and this is a BMW driver that's going too fast into some surface water, starts aquaplaning, starts auditioning for Swan Lake, and whilst displaying the navigational ability of a butterfly in a hurricane, gracefully achieves a perfect quadfecta of hitting 2 arm code barriers, smashing his car up and filling his pants all in one. When there's surface water, slow down. Here's Shuja, and he's sitting behind this car, and lucky he is behind him because it appears that anyone who's in front of him is risking life and limb like them people on the zebra crossing there. Didn't even notice him. His boat definitely ain't tied to the pier, is it? So this is Teddy, and as you can see he's sitting in a bit of traffic, and we all get fed up doing that, but it's just one of them things you got to do. Well, that is of course unless you drive a white van and you've got the neural activity and the mental agility of a gutted fish. In that case you just drive on the wrong side of the traffic island like a massive Joe Blunt. This is from Pete. He's from the UK originally, but he moved to Sweden to go and drive trucks over there because he's fed up with the bad driving over here. But unfortunately, it don't matter where you go, there is no escape for brainless belligerents behind the wheel. That helmet was driving that blue van was definitely conceived on the motorway, 100%, because that's where all the worst accidents happen. On board with John T, another one of my truck driving viewers, just going through this junction. And there's Mr. XPO, my brain's running slow, just nearly takes out the front of his cab as he cuts him up and tops it off with running the red light there. He is to road safety what salt is to a slug. Not good news. Now, with Christmas just round the corner, I think we should all spare a thought for those less fortunate than ourselves. A bit like the very disappointed parents of this smooth brain weapon who stacks his car for no other reason than he was driving like a massive ship's anchor, and the fact he's suffering from that age-old affliction of diarrhoea of stupidity and constipation of intelligence. This is from Clackstars Dashcam on YouTube. Now, this clip is all about two wrongs don't make a right. Trucks moving sharply to the right. Matey in the gold car don't notice him moving to the right and goes straight up the side of him. Driver of the foreign truck got confused. Driver of the gold car got brown pants. On board with Bob on his bike. Now, when you're riding bikes, you really are at the peril of everyone else. And you really need to have your full wits about you. Yeah, you need full wits to compensate for half wits like that. It'd be nice to show that from the driver's point of view. But to do that, the driver would have to mount his dash cam up his arse. Guys, if you like what you've seen so far and I put a smile on your face, can you do me a little favour if you haven't done it already? Please hit that little like and subscribe button down below, because it really does help me out. And hit the hype button as well, please, because that helps me get recommended on YouTube more. Right, let's have a look at some more idiots who are so slow they think they're going backwards. This from Martin, and as you can see, everyone's approaching these traffic lights. Now, when it comes to letting people know you're as thick as two railway sleepers screwed together, nothing quite trumps going through the red light on the wrong side of the road. And for doing his best to break as many laws as he can in such a short space of time, where does he get? To the next set of lights. And of course, being such an upstanding member of the community, it goes without saying his van hasn't been taxed, MOT'd or insured for the past 5 years. Here's Mayor Slowlow negotiating this rather large and busy roundabout, and unfortunately has to negotiate a flake with the mental agility of a concussed garden snail who just pulls straight out. Right, pay attention, because this is how you negotiate a roundabout, or to be more precise, exit a roundabout when you're as thick as a lump of coal. Yeah, that's it. Stay in the right-hand lane until you're opposite the exit you want, cut sharply to the left and take a car out with you on your way. And how that cupcake who was driving that silver car didn't see that coming, God only knows. Now, I don't know about you, but whenever I see stuff like that happen, I always ask myself, where did these idiots learn to drive? Well, I'll ask that question no more, because Tony found the answer to that the other day. Yeah, have a look at this real blank spreadsheet driving on the pavement there. I reckon he's definitely taught a few of them idiots to drive who be watching these videos. Red, reckless every day. Now, everybody's heard of the film Fast and Furious. Well, this bloke in the black car who just pulled out in front of Glenn, he's in a new one. It's called The Slow and the Brainless. Now, when Darshna was approaching this pedestrian crossing, the last thing she's expecting is a two-wheel, two-brain cell delinquent to undertake her in the zigzag area on a bike with no number plate. I bet when he goes shopping, he always only takes a basket because the trolleys ain't got no instructions on them. Colin spotted this proper garden tool parked in Tesco's in Enniskillen. You know Tesco's, where every little helps. Well, he needs help. Steve spotted this non-reader who's obviously got the mental clarity of a steamed-up bathroom mirror. And Omar come across this BMW driver who had the ingenious idea to knock over a signpost and park on top of that. This from Clackstars Dashcam on YouTube. Now, nothing quite says I've got holes in my logic the size of a whale's vagina, like not seeing a car was stopped in the middle of the road and hitting it in the rear. That confetti brain sap never even slowed down. He didn't see it at all. Here's Ride Rod, and he's just pulling up behind this car here. Now, you've got to ask yourself, how some of these low-capacity twats get through every day completing the most basic of tasks. Take traffic lights, for example. Very basic, very simple. Red stop, green go. But for Captain Clueless there, it's incomprehensible. He can't fathom it out. If idiocy was an art form, what you're looking at there is a real masterpiece. Well, that's it for this one, everybody. If you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and don't forget, press that hype button. It's all free and it helps me out. I'll put a playlist there on the right if you want to watch some more of my videos. Thanks to everyone who sent in clips. Have a fantastic weekend, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.